Oh boy, guys. Wow. I'm back from my vacation to New Zealand. Yippee. What a lovely trip it's been. The weather is great this time of year in New Zealand. The pizza's really good. But I really went to play Pokemon TCG Pocket early. And boy howdy did I have a blast. Have you guys ever heard of Pokemon TCG Pocket?
I have never heard of any of those three concepts before.
But no, I had a lot of fun in New Zealand playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, and so I wanted to take a look at the awesome art that's in the game of all these cool cards, all the full art epic cards. You guys love that tier list that not I did, but the three of them did a little while
love
back.
is a strong word.
Love is a very strong word.
Yeah. Much like every new IP we delve into on this channel, it alerted the gatekeepers of said franchise.
A select few really like this tier list.
It's more accurate, honestly.
So we're doing it again, but I'm here now. Wow! So there's 34 full art cards in Pokemon TCG Pocket that we're gonna take a look at. And you might be saying, wow, the trainer cards have full art, fuck off. We're not gonna look at those.
Wow.
They all look the same.
We will not discuss them. Humans are not Pokemon.
In reality, these guys have seen them and they're all cool, but like they're all pretty the same. These all have unique art, so we were gonna look at those.
Yeah.
And we're going from top
Also
to bottom.
saves on time and postage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll do a
'cause there's
smash or
quite a
pass gym leaders someday.
At some point, we'll do it.
I will only smash Lieutenant Surge and Blaine. Everyone else, pass. Hard pass.
Hard passes.
Google searching how old is every gym leader.
Blaine is definitely underage.
So with that, are you guys ready to look at Pokemon cards?
Yeah, let's do it.
I hope we have like bigger images.
Yeah, Kyle said he's going to
yes.
post them in chat for
Okay.
us.
Yeah,
and I will be
them.
posting the bigger images on screen, obviously.
Here comes the first one. Bulbasaur.
Whoa, that's like a C. Who cares?
Smash.
Whoa.
Wow, that was
so
a
much.
harsh,
My
a
God.
large spectrum. I have this card in the game. Wow.
Wow,
that's so
cool.
cool.
You have a C tier card, my friend.
It's
Don't
you,
feel good
buddy.
about it.
It's
Really?
your
I don't
time
know.
to shine.
I like this card art a lot. I think the actual like this anime like style of Bulbasaur's face I really like. There are like older versions of his face that I don't think are as expressive, and I like it. And then a weird little thing for me personally is a lot of these full arts have this effect on the border where it has like the multicolored little like leafy whatever thing, and it actually blends well with the art in the card. That is not the case across the board, as you'll find out. So that gets bonus points from me as well. So in my mind, it's like middle to a little bit higher, but what do you guys think of it?
I mean, I know I said C right off the bat, which sounds harsh. I do think this is genuinely fantastic art. I really like all the colors and shit. I have a feeling there's going to be significantly cooler stuff on here just from glancing around. I don't think this is the highest thing. I'm not going to fight too hard on like keeping it low because I do think it's very good, but I would put it in like the mid-range personally. I also don't like Bulbasaur, so.
It's
You're wrong.
It's really difficult
Jesus
to set a
Christ,
scale on something that you don't don't know. Like we don't know anything about these cards, so it's hard to say where necessarily we'd put it.
Yeah.
Right.
That said, I agree with Kyle that this is probably my favorite type of Bulbasaur face. Although a close second is the side view of Chico.
Hey, you got it, buddy. You got it. Chin up, chin up.
But I think this does give this gets a few more points for me on the fact that it's kind of like an action shot, but also a stationary shot at the same time, where you get a good view of Bulbasaur's whole body,
And the vines.
also, the vines are like parting the foreground, and I think that's really awesome. So I'm giving it a B.
That's fair.
Yeah, I definitely also land in like I'm hoping it'll be like a high B just for my my tendencies. But that's I fully agree with all of that. I love the vibe of this card, especially that it's like the sunlight pouring in on him, like he was trying to part the vines to get to the sun.
Yeah. I mean, the more I look at it, the more I do genuinely really, really like the composition for this art.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good. I think
And
we
it'll
put it in
continue.
B for now, and then like
Yeah.
maybe we can bump it higher or lower
We can
depending on what
adjust.
else we look
We
at.
can
Yeah.
adjust.
Yeah.
I think high B for sure is where it should land, if not higher. So
Okay.
I'm down.
Yeah.
On to the next because we have so many.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, this is much
blue.
worse.
Okay, I was having a hard time trying to figure out what it was in the
What
tiny
did you say,
image.
Tyler?
I said, "Oh, this is much worse." I do. I like the derp factor in this. It's cute.
Yeah.
Is okay. I'm now noticing there's like a Pidgey up there.
There's
Kinda
a
given
Psyduck
the- given
and a
the-
Rattata.
Get that stank
Oh, that
away.
is that Rattata looks so fucking stupid.
That Rattata looks like he's
So shocked.
on acid and just has no fucking clue what's happening.
Rattata looks like he just watched somebody die like behind the camera and nobody else has reacted.
He looks like he's on ketamine and he's just like jerking off in the bushes, hoping no one sees him. He's like on his own little adventure.
Okay.
It's a small mouse.
just from the like design of this card, I really, really like this style that's like almost like watercolored, like clay looking. Like I love the look of it. It's not perfect and it's not meant to be perfect. And I love the look of it. That said, I don't like the composition nearly as much as I liked the Bulbasaur one. I think it's cute that all the other Pokemon are like horrified of the stench, but other than that, it's mid for me.
Yeah. It's really cute, and the art, again, I feel like I'm gonna say this about all of the art, but
right.
Gloom
You
got me
haven't said that
sneezing.
about the one before.
Yeah, but like again, like this art style is just very cute. So I like the soft, like you know, lighting with like no line art and everything. It's good. But again, like it's just not really. It's not making me like scream and piss my pants or anything, you know. So like I would put this in C probably. A strong C, like a high C, unless something worse comes up. But
Ooh,
it's a C.
I do love fruit punch.
It's the only kind of high C to drink.
I'm biased because this is like one of my favorite lines in the game of Pokemon in general, like
Fair.
Oddish to Vileplume. So I love this card a lot. I think a lot of these cards, rather a handful of them, have a lot of storytelling in them, like this one does, with like the other Pokemon around it reacting to the actual thing that's happening in the art.
Yeah.
Which I think gives it bonus points for me. And then just the fact that, like you had mentioned, Nico, it like harkens to the claymation style of older cards. Or like even cards more modern too. They've kind of kept with that. It kind of has a bit of that style to it that I really like. So I'm biased on it, so I'd put it higher. But like I'm down to put it where you guys want to put it because I know I like it more than I should.
Like it doesn't fully speak to me in particular.
Right.
Yeah, I do appreciate though that we're immediately jumping back into like Bulbasaur had Vine Whip, and that's a Pokemon move, and then we just second
Drool.
card Drool.
That does the same
Just as
damage
powerful.
with the same cost
Yeah.
and no other information. Just does the drool touch you, or is it just the psychic damage of why is that thing drooling? Like,
Well, clearly
but,
doesn't
like,
use psychic energy. It wouldn't be psychic damage.
I definitely like that's normal energy. I definitely
Colorless.
I want to take this moment to say that we are not experts and nothing we say here is objective.
absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
Says you. Everything I say is a
we're
fucking
going to-
fact, and you gotta respect it.
No. Don't listen to him. Please don't listen to him. He's not running this quiz.
We're even gonna say shit that like is just like objectively wrong or we don't understand. So like
I'll sprinkle in little things about the cards if they have like significance to the game or the meta of the soft launch that I got to play in the lovely New Zealand. And like if any of it is something either I experienced or I've seen people that have played it experience, I'll toss that in. Hasn't been an important thing yet, but that's okay. It'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm rating this C just because it doesn't really
Okay.
speak to me, and it's not like it's not blowing me away. And I see other like miniature pictures down there that I think C is a good place.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this is
there-
definitely someone's favorite card, and I'm not going to argue with that.
every
that's
card
totally
is
fine.
someone's favorite, and that's justified.
Yeah.
And let us know in the comments below which of these cards is your favorite and why?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Genuinely, I love reading comments like that. So
Yeah. If especially with like Pokemon, I like it a lot too because people are usually like, "Wow, this is my favorite Pokemon. That's why it's my favorite card." Like how I just mentioned, I like Gloom because Vileplume is one of my favorite lines personally. Like, it's just cool to hear those stories.
Yeah.
But on to the next. Pinsir.
give me those pincers.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, this is cool. It's
all right.
It doesn't like have a ton of story like the other one did, but like it's cool as far
I
as
feel like there's a lot
like,
of backstory here. We can't see it from the outset,
they
but like
feud
something is
fair.
causing them to
well, they're
butt heads.
the Pokedex is like their territorial, right? Isn't that like just a general thing about pincers?
Yeah.
But we don't know if
They
these
fight.
pincers are fighting for that reason. They could have they could be going through like a marital issue. You know, they could be living in a broken home. They could be fighting
never
for
take the
custody
trash
of their
out.
child. I don't know. Like we have
Sorry,
no way of knowing.
Jeez. Is this how you're gonna bring that up right now?
You know, the best part of that is when I have the card art open on Discord, it's covering your face. So
Another card that I have pulled. Wow.
Wow.
Also, just in general, it feels like grass isn't that as good as other types of decks that I've noticed. Not necessarily terrible, but just like some others are just dominant, which I'll talk about later. But
Gotcha.
yeah, like this card art's fine. I'd probably put it in C as well myself.
I would also put it in C. I'd put it below the Gloom one just because I think the Gloom one is funny and the art style being the way it is, very like cozy. I just really like that. This is like, again, I'm going to say this every time. It's great art. I love the art. But it's not doing anything for me in particular, just on a personal level.
I would also definitely put it in C, just below Gloom. There's a lot of little attention to detail in this. Like the two pincers, they're both pincer, but they're not identical. Like the one on the right is a little bit darker. The eyes are a little bit smaller. The mouth looks like it has more teeth
He has
in it,
one
actually.
more set of teeth.
It looks like it might be bigger, but it still looks like it's losing. Like it looks like it's like defending itself on the ground. I like the action in this. It just doesn't do as much for me as the others do. I am a big sucker for whimsy, and Gloom is certainly more whimsical.
Yeah. I do really appreciate that, like, there are a bunch of different art styles across these, and they chose for an action shot one with, like, it's not a crazy amount, but more edge to it. It's very, like, original Pokemon sharp eyes type deal, but, like, still soft edges and curves. I also want to point out very specifically, I looked at the wiki for this. That's not a pincer footprint, which means there might have been a casualty.
Interesting.
But I'm going to put this in C. I think I would put it just above Gloom, but I'm not going to fight on that. Also, did you know that pincer horns can do this?
You know, I never liked Pinsir. I like him significantly less now.
Yeah, that's
I
worse.
hate that.
That's so much worse. So Tyler and I are putting him below Gloom.
Yeah.
What Kyle? What for
I'm
you?
totally cool with that.
I put it below Gloom as well, but that's
I
biased,
figured.
as we all
I just
know.
wanted to double check before I did it.
Right. You guys ready to move on to a new type? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh, yeah, it's been grass.
Light me up, Daddy.
Congrats. Yeah,
That looks
that's
like
how
a
the decks
Charmander.
work, baby. You go through types. It's time for that fire. Charmander.
Okay.
Oh,
This
it's
is
so
a-
warmly
this-
lit.
This is a gorgeous art.
It is
man.
gorgeous.
Oh my
I
God.
still,
Holy crap!
Wait.
I'm liking the Bulbasaur one more, I feel like, compared to every other card we've looked at so far. I like all the detail in this for sure. I love the composition. But again, it's not making me shit my pants in any kind of way, you know?
So here's a random thing, just that from because I've seen them all, obviously. But something that this card art does specifically that I really appreciate is that the way that the art is done, there's like the foliage that comes up to cover right behind the words to make the words easier to read. There are a handful of these full arts where that is not the case and it gets difficult to read the text. And I really appreciate that aspect of this composition a lot because you could very clearly see the details of the actual attack. But in general, like this is about the same place as the Bulbasaur for me, probably below it personally. But it is just, like you said, Mitch, it's really cozy, and like the tail lighting the dark sky for itself, like it's just really fun. I like it.
Yeah,
Whimsical.
I would say personally, I'd put this in maybe low A.
Oh damn!
Because I just really appreciate that they put in the time and effort to like all the parts that the light of Charmander's tail is like not reaching or is kind of weaker on. It's cool lighting, but everything that Charmander's tail is touching is warm lighting. And I'm a sucker for that. Detailed. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah. It is very nice for that. Like I really appreciate the attention to detail, especially in the foliage, and especially that sky is gorgeous.
Absolutely.
I really like the look of the fire too. Like it's not like a cartoony fire. I personally would still I would agree with Tyler and Kyle to put it just below Bulbasaur. Like this is a really weird thing I feel like I'm nitpicking on, but like two things. Like the shadow doesn't quite look exactly right to me. Like something looks a little bit like it was just kind of like, he needs a shadow. Like where the tail is, the shadow looks too elongated to be the tail for how the fire is sitting there. And also, as much as I love the environment, it feels like a slightly different style than Charmander's own design. So it feels a little out of place to me.
He does look a little bit like a sticker.
Yeah, like he looks like a little goofy sitting there with this like gorgeous, almost realistic background. And then it's just this little blobby dinosaur man.
Yeah, go ahead, slide him below Bulbasaur. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And I guess to also like push the argument too for it to be in B instead of A, the lighting aspect is what you really liked about it, Mitch, and you're not wrong. But I think the lighting aspect in the Bulbasaur one as well is like really, really well detailed.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit even more past that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where the Charmander
Well, it's just like
has
it's
a
all
little
warm
bit
lighting.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's 100% fair. It's more of the shadows that it's playing with specifically than the actual, because it's nighttime, the other one. But yeah, I like this placement for it a lot.
Yeah. I think it's
Very close
solid.
to each other, I'd say.
Yeah.
Here's a pretty card, Rapidash.
Yo, this fucks hard.
Yeah.
I've never given a
hold on,
shit about
Slow
Rapidash.
Petals?
This is awesome artwork.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this a lot.
The feeling of speed and motion that you get from the art of this is really, really awesome. I also really want this one because I have a deck based around Rapidash and it would do really well. It's also just a detail from the game. It is a 1 cost, 1 retreat with 100 HP.
That sounds
It's really,
awesome.
really nice to just drop really quick and then get the fuck out while you're setting up like a big boy on the bench.
Yeah.
It's really, really great.
This
But yeah,
card
this
is
art's
just
beautiful.
has so much like energy to it, like the artwork, you know, like
Rapidash is locked in.
yeah, and just like the mix of like the embers from the fire and like the flower petals and the colors and everything. Like I want to put this at least in A. Like this is my favorite one we've seen so far. Personally, I really, really like this.
I agree with that. I like as much as I'm still a sucker for Bulbasaur, and I like the composition of the others a little bit better. I love the flower petals in this and how they are almost meshing into the main, like you were saying, Tyler. Like there's 2 or 3 of them in the main that I'm looking at, like I can't tell if that's the shape of the petal or if they're actively being burnt up by the main, and that's sick. Like I really like it. I would also say this is a first one for A.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with this, especially because there are so many different colored petals.
Yeah.
Particularly speaking, the ones at the top by the main match the color of the border
Yep, that's
right
what I was
above
gonna go
it,
to.
and it almost looks like it's breaking through the border of the card to rush out on the battlefield. That shit's awesome.
Yeah, that was the point I was gonna throw in too, is that this is another one of those cards where it really feels like it blends with the border well, the unique border for the full arts. And it's just, I agree with you, Tyler, too. Like, this is not a Pokemon I've ever really cared for, Rapidash, in any way. I know it's a lot of people's, like, it's high up there for them because it was like
or
an
Squirrels
OG
love
game.
Rapidash.
Oh no!
Yeah, 100%. Oh no! But it's great. I would say it's A as well. My opinion, but like obviously, like I said before, I know what these cards are. It's low A, as we'll see, but it's very good though, and it's a step
Damn,
up.
if this is gonna be low A, I'm excited to see some of these later cards. I really can't discern what anything is with how small
it's
it is.
really
on
hard
my
to tell
screen
what
right
some
now,
of this is. Like,
Just
I
you
have
wait,
it
King.
slightly larger than you guys do anyways, and I'm
Right.
just like, I'm excited. I can't tell.
It
Also,
looks like
just
Squirtle might be next.
It sure is. We're moving on to water
love
types,
Squirtle.
baby. Whoa!
I love
It's
Squirtle.
Squirtle time.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh,
He's
And
bald.
he is bald.
Squirtles are typically bald, yeah.
he's got
a lovely little
sparkles
fact you
all
have
over
there.
him, and you chose to focus on the one on his dome.
It is it's really pleasant and really nice, and I think it for me falls a bit in line with the Charmander one, where it doesn't feel as crazy detailed as the Bulbasaur one was, but a little bit less detailed than the Charmander. It's kind of in that realm. I know they're all the starters, like would they'd be side by side, but I feel like they all feel very similar in that way.
Yeah. It feels like for the starters, like the environment is kind of the main focus, and they're just kind of placed in it, you know, doing their thing. And I think that's like a cool angle to take. I do just like, aside from my bias of just liking Squirtle more than the other starters, like just the use of like colors in this and the scenery in general, it's just like a really like serene feeling. Like it's like a world I want to jump into. I personally, I would put this above both Charmander and Bulbasaur, but I would be okay if it's beneath Bulbasaur. I like this better than the Charmander one for sure, personally. That's up to y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Every time we see a new starter Pokemon here, it's my new favorite one.
Damn.
Yeah, like the fact that we're above the water, but the water is so clear that you can see beneath it. But
Yeah.
also the artist put in all the effort of warping it because it's beneath the waves. Is excellent. Like the lily pads and the extra foliage on top of or submerged in the marsh is amazing. It almost looks like in the background is where Squirtle's or Bulbasaur is hanging out.
Oh yeah, I can see
Honestly,
that. Yeah.
Could be.
But this has nothing to do with the art of the card itself, but just I think it's a bit of a misstep on the game devs or the game designers for not making Squirtle's weakness grass to kind of seal in the weakness to Bulbasaur. But
yeah,
that's big fair.
the typings with the TCG in general are they get really weird with some of the like the less basic trio typings, as you'll see once we get to like the fighting type and it being a lot of ground and rock types. But that's just kind of how the TCG works, and they have to get creative with it. But you know, it is what it is. A detail that I want to point out too that we mentioned with the other starter cards is the shadow of Squirtle. Actually, that it's it's really detailed, and it like actually like I very fully even the little lip. You can see coming off of it in the shadow.
And
I
his
like
little
it a lot.
fingies too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I also would love to mention the flowers in the bottom left corner. Even though they're obscured a little bit because of the weakness counter there, they also blend really well with the edge of the card. So big points to that. I do agree with what Tyler was talking about, where like it feels like the environment is really the biggest focus on these cards. Something that I can't tell if I love it or don't love it about this, but this body of water, this river, the way that it's laid out on this card, it looks like I can see the motion of how Squirtle like swam down it. Like it feels like I can see that motion.
He's got a wake.
My eye follows the path that he took from the back around the left and then to the right. Yeah. And I do give it a lot of points for that. I don't know. I think it should be with the other two, but really wherever y'all want to put it, I'm fine with.
Yeah. To kind of go off what you said, Nico, a little bit too, regarding like the environment thing, specifically the starters you don't find in the environment. So it's fun for them to focus on that, like actually finding them existing in the wild. Because they're never portrayed like that in the video games. So I think it's just a fun detail. Personally, I'd say right below Bulbasaur, right above Charmander, but that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. I would personally put it above Bulbasaur, but I think that it's like tied with Bulbasaur. So like I'm fine with putting it either like right below or right above.
Yeah. Also, can I say you can put it there. Yeah, you can put it there. Can I say about the Charmander card? One more thing that I realized I really like about it is it reminds me very specifically of like the first anime where Ash finds that Charmander in the rainstorm in the middle of the forest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it almost seems to me like that like good end meme where it plays like the happy music.
It's not raining. He's happy. No rain. He's just enjoying a night sky. That was really wholesome, Mitch. But on to something fucking epic. I didn't click it. Shit.
Nice segue.
Thank you.
Hear it and nothing happened.
Yeah, you can hear the button, and then
that misclick was pretty fucking epic, Kyle.
Thanks, man.
Epic fail.
That is very cool.
Hell yeah.
The lighting in this one is so fucking cool, and you also get such a sense of the size of Gyarados with the way it's like tails in the background and the
I
fucking
looked
shit
at it
on
and was
that
like, "Oh my
Carnival
god, is it about
cruise.
to use Hyper Beam?" Oh,
probably.
Whoever's on
Chances are
that
high.
cruise in the background is getting a refund. 'Cause this is not looking like a great time.
Yeah, I think this card art is just like incredibly well done.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's like really detailed. The water specifically is just so beautiful and like in a really realistic way. Whereas like the one in the previous with Squirtle, it was a bit of like a unrealistic like it's like a cartoon
very
water.
stylized.
Yeah, right. And this is like, oh, you took a picture out the window of the another boat farther away or something. I just think this is a really pretty card art. It's also a very good card. Fun fact, but
I definitely think this needs to go in A for sure. Because this is like really well done. I mean, like the composition is great. There's like so much going on in it, but like it's not too much. Like it's not cluttered. And there's just so much detail to it. I don't know. I don't know. I really like the Rapidash one. Personally. This could be argued that this Gyarados is like objectively better. I personally would put this like just under Rapidash, but I'm not gonna fight if you guys want it higher than that, because this is very good.
I will continue my pattern of agreeing with pretty much everything Tyler just said. I love, like, there's so much work put into this, and like the skill that it requires to make the water look that good with this style of art, like really impressive. I also love the really goofy little Magikarp that's just like it's like letterboxed by the information on Hyper Beam. Just
there's
like
a second smaller, lesser loved child down there as well.
oh yeah, yes.
text.
And like something about that Magikarp, though, he almost looks like he's overjoyed by this. Like he's upside down, but he looks like he's going, yeah.
He's like, the Gyarados is about to fire the Hyper Beam at the guy who is bullying him. So the Magikarp's like, "That's right, you fucker. Dad's here and he's gonna beat you up."
Hey, my dad's here. That said, I personally prefer the stylization that Rapidash had over this Gyarados. I think the layout and design of the card, I just prefer personally over this Gyarados.
I agree also that I think it should be an A. Rapidash is a Pokemon that I don't particularly care about. I'm gonna get flack for this, but I've always disliked Gyarados. I think it looks like a dumbass.
Wow.
That's a
However-
really hot take, actually.
Mitch has some
I know it
aggressively
is.
hot takes.
I know it is. But that said, like this card, the card art on this is so genuinely impressive that like it's not going to. My opinion of Gyarados is not going to affect where I put this. I still think it would go on to Rapidash, if not because I just kind of wish that cruise ship wasn't there. Actually, part of what I like about Rapidash is how much like there's detail, but the focus is all on it, and the it kind of feels like the cruise ship is in the center of the card and a bit of the focus, which is strange. But it's still an incredible card. The fact that there's like also a rock down there under the weakness that the waves are crashing off of is incredible.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
But also specifically
tell.
the lighting that it's using is like, it almost looks like that's what they wanted to do with the terrestrialization in Scarlet and Violet, but didn't really do very well. But the card did it really, really, really well. So I think A just below Rapidash.
The hottest
Yeah.
take you've ever said is that Scarlet and Violet didn't handle a graphical thing well. Everyone's gonna disagree with that so much.
Crazy. We're getting canceled.
I'm glad that we landed an A because I agree. And I honestly think it's like about right on par with Rapidash. And I would also put Rapidash above it, mainly because of the details that we just said about like it blending with the border really well. This one really doesn't. Not in a bad thing about it, just doesn't. And then the way the petals kind of just mix into the fire is cool with the Rapidash.
Yeah.
But enough about that shit. How about something even more stylized? Wow, it's Lapras.
Wow.
This is
Love
rad.
this shit. Love this shit.
This is so good.
Pikachu surfing back there?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Surfing
my
Pikachu.
Oh, he looks like a moron. He doesn't even look like he's having a good time. He's just sitting on that board going,
He's just thinking about like how he has to pay his taxes. Like he's not even like in the moment. He's just fucking there.
he's like, wow, everything is so much quieter without that fucking kid with me.
I'm so glad I took this vacation to New Zealand.
Oh my god.
5 years without Ash is really humbling.
Dude,
The Lapras
I mean,
is also ashes, and it's like, yes! I'm free! God, this is rad!
he just drowned and they're just celebrating like
Oh my god.
Thank
This
God.
is the aftermath of Gyarados' rampage.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Misty's
he
Gyarados.
was firing
Ash was on the ship.
Yeah, Ash was on the Carnival cruise and then he died and now they're just like free. I mean, if you know me, you know I love super hyper stylized shit. So I obviously am immediately going to be like, put this shit in S because this is just like really hyper stylized, really, really cool. I won't fight too hard if you want it to be lower, but I just, something about this, the way the water and the clouds and everything are like flowing together, and it's just such a cool style. Like I'm really, really fucking with it.
My favorite part of this, weirdly enough, is specifically the shell. Like, there's just enough detailing and some of that super stylized shading on it that it really pops for me. Like, there are some parts on Lapras that I'm looking at and I'm like, it's actually it's part of the style the style of this, but it feels more two-dimensional than other parts should, I feel like. And the shell is a really, really awesomely well executed part of this. I don't know if I would say S. I really like it though. I don't know where it lands above, below Rapidash or bottom of S, top of A, but I'll leave that to the other boys, I guess.
You're gonna hate me for this, but
Oh God, he hates it.
it's once like the style is incredible. It's an amazing, like they did it really well. It's just not a style that I personally like, which is gonna knock it down some points. I do agree with Nico though that the shell is actually awesome. It's really cool. I guess my main issue with this is there are so many, like, for lack of a better term here, topographical sectioning lines in the
Right.
background and on the waves, and so few on Lapras that it looks like it doesn't belong to me.
Yeah.
Personally, I would put this as low as C, but
That does sound like a Mitch take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Mitch, I'm with Tyler. I would put this in S. I did pull this one, and I literally like verbally uttered like yes when I pulled it out of the pack because I was so excited because I had seen it ahead of time and I knew it existed. I was like, God, that's what I'm like. That's a chase card for me. That's really cool. Also, water type decks just seem very good. Both Gyarados and Lapras are in a lot of decks. One that didn't get a full art that we're not going to look at today is actually Starmie. Starmie's a really good card. And these cards are paired really well with it. So yeah, that's fun fact. But yeah, I would personally say it would probably like sneak into S just barely. But taking Mitch's take into account, I'm okay with like putting it in A.
Top
yeah, I
of
think
A.
A is where it would land.
Cool.
I personally would put it in top of A, but like
I would also.
Yeah, that's fine. I couldn't figure out where I would like put it between top and Rapidash, and two people saying it should be an S. I feel like overrides a little bit of the C ranking.
I was like, I don't like that it's above Rapidash, but I'm not the one making the decision.
You've been slightly outvoted.
Just a little bit.
are you ready for the one electric full art?
Yeah.
One singular?
Just one. It's Electro.
I love that a lot.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's really good stylization.
It's going to be Mitch against the world again, isn't it?
Yeah. Mitch, you just have bad taste. It's okay.
But look at the Zapdos
That's
out
what
the
I say
window in
about
the
you, Tyler.
background.
I know. That's how I know I
look-
have
there
good
is a
taste.
Zapdos back there. Look at there.
Look at the Zapdos
Oh, yeah.
out the
Yeah,
window.
you're right.
Oh my god, I love all of the other electrodes in this. They're so goofy. The like the one on the left looks like it's farting out that electricity. It's just like, yeah.
And then the one on the right's like,
is
oh.
the one on the right is like high, like oh.
Dude, I love this so much. I love this more than the Lapras. The more I look at this.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, well, because
Wow, too.
again, it's really stylized, which I love. And the art style itself is like kind of unique. Like it's kind of got line art, kind of doesn't. It's just really good. The colors are really nice and they work well together. It doesn't have the quote unquote problem Lapras had with like the topographical lines kind of making it cluttered. Like it's very clearly like Electrode is the center of this fucking picture. Very cool effects spraying off. And then like you were saying, you know, all of the different electrodes in the background with all the different personalities, and the background is like not distracting at all, but it's really full of details and like has a really cool perspective if you actually take the time to look at it. Like, and there's like multiple explosions going off on top of the lightning. Like this is just
Voltorb.
I think it's just an upside down
No, it's an
electrode.
upside down electrode.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Like just the more I look at this, the more I just adore this artwork. I'm gonna. I want it to be an S, but I understand that I'll probably get outvoted. But
I would be happy with this being like the capper bottom of S. I have an interesting like take like with how the scene is. I love this card. It almost feels like a wild Pokemon encounter actively. Like there being a mess in this room, like it's an open area. Like it feels like you are exploring this area, heard a noise, turned your back, and there were just 4 Electrode there. Like, check it out, bitch. Like, that's what this feels like. Like this is their home, and you have stumbled across them, and they're not mad, but you're leaving now. Like, I love the vibe of all of them. They're having a great time. It's another one of them where like the environment, the lighting and the style is soft, but there's still a lot of really cool stuff going on around it and a lot of really bright elements, especially from the central Electrode. The only knock I have is that they seem to all very clearly be using like self-destruct or explode, and this thing knows Electro Ball, and that's it.
Well, I like the implication of this card that they are the Electro Balls.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I looked at the back and like the others have smoke coming off of them too. I was like, I think that's supposed to be explosion. Like, I don't know if that's Electro Ball or not, but that's like, that doesn't really matter. We're looking more at the art of these, and this is rad as hell. I say I would like this to be bottom of S.
Cool.
Yeah, see, based on the way that I reacted to it initially, I'm sure a lot of you had assumed that I wasn't going to like this card, but that's not the case. It's just that they reacted so strongly. One thing I do really like about this card is the imperfect outline of like the main electrode makes it look like it's
Mitch.
vibrating and oh my god, vibrating with motion. But like it adds more energy to the card without cluttering the whole situation, which I think is amazing. And I would personally put this in like top of B if I had to put it somewhere.
Mitch, surprisingly, you're not alone. I really like this card. I just don't love it as much as Nico and Tyler, you guys do. I think something that this, like, in general, a lot of these arts showed me when I was playing the game is that, like, I'm finding like love for these Pokemon that I never even like gave us a thought to ever. Like I never fucking thought about Electrode or Rapidash, but now here I am being like, wow, these arts are cool and I want them on my deck actively. Also, it's a pretty good card in electric type decks because it pairs well with Lieutenant Surge. But I would personally probably put it at the bottom of A myself.
Okay.
But it's very like A feels like such a close race for me. Like if it's this and the three that we currently have in A, like they're all so expressive and so unique in their own ways that like I feel like it's pretty close across the board.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like based on the slight spread, I think it's going to be an A.
Yeah,
It's
definitely going to be A. Just depends on where we want to end the spread of A.
I obviously want it top of A. I would be fine with it. I'd be fine with it below Lapras. If it's below Rapidash, I'll be kind of upset. If it's below Gyarados, I'll scream.
Oh, I mean, wait, should we make him scream?
If it's above Rapidash but below Lapras, I will be upset.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it being above Lapras, honestly.
I'm personally either right above Lapras or right below Lapras. I wouldn't put it lower myself if we're like considering our opinions.
Okay.
Taylor, like I said before, I'd put it at the bottom, but yeah, I'm fine with this.
Okay.
Cool.
Very well. I will go along with this.
Punk, yeah.
I mean, come with me in this situation. So, all right, are you guys ready? It's psychic time, and oh my god!
S.
Oh my god!
Holy
S.
damn!
S.
My god!
It's S.
Yo.
100% for me as well.
Our
This
goofy little
fucks.
spoon boy
Yo.
has lost his mind.
This is like Alakazam is fighting.
Don't just
mobs
go putting it
for
there
Mob
before
Psycho.
all of us rank it.
It's not going lower than S.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to die on the hill of the other ones. This is S, and if you don't agree, you're wrong. This is incredible.
Yes, said S.
Oh my
It
god,
really,
dude.
it is designed in a way that it feels like it's fighting Mob from Mob Psycho.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same exact thing.
And
Oh, were you?
Yes.
That doesn't work here, Nico.
That doesn't work as well.
I
When we're
will
just looking
call
at
it
incredible
every time I
art.
see it.
That's fair. We will too against you. Yeah, I thank God I pulled this card. It's another one of my chase cards, and I got it literally yesterday.
Fuck yeah.
On the flight back from New Zealand, and it's amazing. It's so fucking good. There aren't many words to describe. It's just like the action, the motion, the fucking psychic just aura it's emitting out of this card is amazing. Another Pokemon I never really like. I think Alakazam's cool, but I'm not personally like a big I don't love Alakazam. This makes him look like the coolest fucker. It's so awesome.
As someone who actively really likes Alakazam and has for a very long time, honestly, because I also just had a cool trading card of him as a child and it kind of made me like him. This is one of the coolest trading card arts I've seen ever, regardless of being in Pokemon. I mean, like literally, like take the reasoning that I liked everything in A and kind of smoosh it together, and that's this. Like, it has really good like motion and energy and perspective, really cool like just effects and shit going around it to really like sell that. And then the stylization on like the art and like the use of color and everything is just so incredibly masterfully done. I mean, this is like everything I could ever want out of a card art. Like, this is, if anything tops this, I will be shocked. This is like the highest S I could afford personally. This is incredible.
Once again, given my reaction at the beginning, people are probably going to think I didn't like this. Not so. I agree with literally everything everyone else has said. I'm a sucker for when shadows are used that aren't just like darker versions of the colors. Like in this case, it's shadowed with pink and red, and that's fucking awesome. My sole issue, which is why it doesn't hit S for me, is this is the only card we've looked at so far where the shape of the Pokemon is muddled and like difficult to parse. We like it so much because we know what Alakazam looks like, but you wouldn't be able to tell very well with just this card.
I can see that point. I can understand where you're coming from with it.
Yeah.
You can read the spoon though.
You
can also read the spoon at the bottom left.
At the bottom. I would argue that the style, like, well, I guess I wouldn't argue because like I completely understand that take, Mitch. It's just the style itself, because of the nature of it. A lot of action lines and motion lines and the distortion of the literal like outline of things with this art style. I think it really, you don't really get an option to with this art style. But like I do understand your opinion though. Like, it is a bit hard to read his actual profile.
I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert, but I've been watching a lot of like animator reacts to this and then gives advice on animation and framing and all that. And there are ways to show action while also showing off the whole body.
Fair.
I don't think it would look as good. I think it looks best as is. Believe me, I believe that.
Yeah.
I think like this almost looks like a fucking oil painting to me. Like the style of it is immaculate. The only thing that like it does take a minute before I can fully read it. Like, I understand what Mitch is saying. As he was saying that, I was like looking, because this whole time I have just been ignoring that I couldn't see the other arm in the picture, and I finally realized where it was. Because it's like
back. He's gonna clock the shit out of you.
It's like it's so far back, and like the name tag is like covering a little bit of it, so I wasn't especially because they chose yellow for some of those accent like motion lines. I was not reading that as his arm. But I still don't care. Like, even though I look at the one kneecap and I'm like, that could be a rock, that could be his knee, I don't know. Like, it's rad as hell. There's so much motion to this, and the colors are just gosh.
Yeah, that exactly, huh?
Yeah, that exactly.
Speaking of Rarsh, I think this next one might be our first D.
Okay. So I guess to cap off the other one, I'm definitely, I want Alakazam and S. I'm okay with it not being the top of S as we go.
Yeah. I mean, we still
It
got a
will
lot of
be an
cards.
S for sure.
Yeah, I'm totally
100%.
Okay. So moving on to the next one, Tyler already commented on it a bit about the Slowpoke. So
Tail whap.
So there's a bit of a story to this card. So they obviously had a lot of fun with this, but if you recall, there was like the original card of this.
And it's just like zoomed out.
They brought back the actual person that did it and let them make the full art.
Oh, that's
of
awesome.
it
rad.
and expand it.
It's so
And
rad.
I had the original card as a kid, and seeing this and like the fact that this is something that was able to happen because of this, it just brings me so much joy. I am very biased, obviously, but I love this. It's not crazy, obviously, but it straight up is just like a nostalgia hit for so many people.
Yeah.
Also, the one that's just eating the retreat cost makes me very happy.
It's really cute. I like the style of it. It's like very, very like super simple. It gives Peppa Pig vibes. I just think compared to everything else we've looked at, bottom of C or dipping into D. It just comparatively, you know,
just like detail oriented wise, I can fully understand that. The only thing that I don't love about this is the river, because it's so fucking skinny. Like it's barely a river. It looks like somebody spilled something and it was way more than they thought. And it's just like that's the only part I don't love. I really like the rest of it just because it's goofy and silly and it's done by the original artist. That's rad, but I'm fine with this going pretty much anywhere.
I just want to make it clear. Simple does not mean bad.
Right.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But unfortunately, with so many like detail-oriented cards and detail-oriented brains rating these, it is just compared to everything else, unfortunately, gonna have to be my D. But
your D.
My D. And it honestly, I think I would be totally cool with it being in as high as B even if it weren't for that river.
Yeah.
The river really does throw me the fuck off.
I'll make it known that I would have put it in bottom of B just because of the nostalgia pool for me personally, because I played the TCG as a kid, like the old TCG a lot. But I would personally like it to be bottom of C if we were down, because I don't want it to hit D. Fair. I think there are some here that we could argue could land in D, and I like this more than it. So
that's fair. 100%. Yeah, I mean, let it be known, I love this, but shove that shit at the bottom where you have it.
I love this a lot. So, but
personally,
we'll move on to
incredible. Comparatively,
right. So moving on to fighting types, it's Diglett.
Oh my god, wait, I forgot to mention, we made mention of like typing being weird. Electrode being an electric type is weak to fighting. It was like,
because fighting
is rock and ground and everything too.
It threw me off so hard because like there's been that, like, you ever tried to punch a bird argument for so long that I was like, how you punch a light bulb, I guess.
Yeah, that's a losing battle.
Dude,
this card's fun.
This is really fun. This is like one of those, like, not Where's Waldo, but like just sort of like a children's book aesthetic to it. Like something I would have seen in even like a workbook in elementary school, like something like that. I don't know, like that's the vibe I'm kind of getting from it, but it's really creative. Like, it's not something I ever would have thought of if someone was like, make a Diglett card. I would not have thought to go this direction. So like, A for creativity for sure. I don't want to put it in A, but like A for creativity to the person who made this, because this is like really cool and I love the styling of it too.
Yeah, there's so many little vignettes in this too. Like, some of these Digletts are angry. The one at the top looks like it just had a dispute with somebody and said, well, fuck this, I'm going upstairs. And it like has decided to like leave the situation. Two of them look like exasperated. Yep. Like the one like looking at the crystals looks like horrified. And the one like just next to the right of the lake looks like it's running from the lake. Like, it's got the little like lines behind its eyes that are like, oh god. And my absolute favorite is the moron at the left-hand side that's just getting covered up by the dirt the other one is digging. It's so funny. It's so funny. There's some weird, goofy little inconsistencies. Like, they show us the pipe. Where does the pipe go? But like, I don't care. It's cute. It's goofy. I love it. I want this to be another A myself.
Can I just say I'm fairly certain that's specifically Diglett's cave.
Yeah,
from Kanto.
100%.
Oh, yeah,
I believe
you're
so
right.
as well.
Which is awesome.
It's not the only time that you're going to see this.
It is.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not 100% sure, but you reminded me of this. I think the Electrode one is that electric, like it's the
Yeah,
scene
the power
that's
plant.
in the
Yeah.
power
Power
plant. Yeah.
Which is why
so yeah.
Zapdos is there.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Right, exactly. There's a couple like that, but yes, it's very cool.
I want to. That pipe is bothering me, but it is Diglett's cave, and there's so many details. I want to give this. I want to put this in top of A.
Damn,
Oh,
top
wow.
of A.
Top of A.
I'm a big fan
Dang.
of when like they take listen. I like geography, like the not geography specifically, but I like rocks.
Geology.
Geology.
I like geology.
I like
and
geology
when they,
so much I don't know what it's called.
I like the listen. I haven't actually really thought about it that much. Since
just got excited.
Sophomore year of high school.
Get excited.
But I like when they take like the bisection of like the crust
Yeah.
of the earth, and then they kind of splay it out. I also think it is kind of funny that the river is really shallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I guess that's the ocean if it's by Vermilion.
Oh yeah.
Is it Vermilion City?
I think. That,
We're
I can't
searching.
remember, honestly.
Yeah.
The city names in
it's Vermilion.
Johto blend
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. But like there's also a pickaxe just kind of in the ground.
Yeah, that I feel like that might be like a tip, like it could be a tip to the mining in the underground from Sinnoh, maybe, but like it wouldn't make a lot of sense for it to be. I just want it to be.
This is 100% like this is a personal bias. I want it top of A personally.
That's fair. I won't allow that, but I respect
Same.
that.
Same.
allow that.
I also don't agree.
Yeah. Well, like where would you rank this, Kyle? I guess. Comparatively.
Personally, I'm saying like bottom B, high C. That's my opinion. That's just like my opinion.
I was thinking.
And it's
Damn.
I was thinking somewhere in B, just because I think it's. I respect the uniqueness of it, but also
Same.
like, kind of for the same reason that I don't love the Slowpoke one. It's like it's very simple compared to a lot of these other like really like beautiful, incredibly like rendered cards. Not saying that this is bad. I've already said how much I
Right.
like it, but
It's preference.
also like it's the when you look at the card, just from like zipping your eyes over to it, your eye doesn't really immediately know where to go necessarily, which makes it a
there
little
isn't
hard
like
to
a clear
read.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's
not
fair,
like a
that's fair.
focal point to it, which is what kind of holds it back for me personally.
Strangely, I feel like the focal point is that pool of water, which is not
Right.
Diglett.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that's where your eye would naturally go. So I would
If you
I would
look-
agree with Kyle. I would want to put it bottom of B, top of C personally.
I'm fine with that.
I'll fight it.
to kind of go into a little more too is like I think this is a really fun like story card where like it like has a little fun little story going on. It digs a little deeper into Diglett's like what he does under the ground. But I think other cards have like a crazy amount of detail and also tell stories, which is why I'd probably put it at the bottom of B below these like fun little glimpses into the lives of the starters kind of things that are like incredibly well detailed and have a phenomenal like aspects to them, whereas this is just fun and it's simple but like not in a bad way like you had said, Mitch. So I'd personally probably put it as high. The highest would be like the bottom of B myself.
So do we want bottom B or high C?
I want bottom of B. You know me.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm fine with that.
Go.
Congratulations, fellas. We have made it 1/3 of the way through this tier
Jesus
list.
Christ.
Can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I counted.
We've
We've done 12 now.
Holy
There are
shit.
23 left.
Yeah, we have been talking.
I'm glad I work
Speaking-
from home. I will wake up when my shift starts tomorrow.
Here's Cubone. No, keep moving.
It's cute. I don't care. I'd put it in C.
Bucone.
Buford Cone.
Buford Cone.
Bucone.
It's
This is
gorgeously
another one of
rendered.
those.
Yeah.
All the props in the world to whoever made this art. Incredible stuff. I could never even get close to making anything this good. Lord knows I've tried. I would still put this in C just because it's not really... You can't have that many orphans in one place and have me feel that bad about it. Like, you can't...
Yeah.
They're all so sad, but how did their parents all die in the same way? Why are they all wearing their parents' skulls? This is my issue with Cubone as in general. It's like, it's sad if it's one of them. If it's a whole species that have gone through this, it's kind of like, that doesn't make sense. So highlighting that in this art, it's kind of, it's shining a light on the absolute like sham that is his tragic backstory.
Wow.
Sham.
Yeah.
Damn.
Those are fake tears.
It's a move.
I don't
So
think that's fair, but I agree. Like, I love the rendering of this. I love the soft lighting. Like, it feels like everything has kind of this ethereal shine to it. I like it a lot. The direction of this card, I do think, leaves a little bit to be desired, especially like that one Cubone up on the rock is clearly supposed to be the focal point, but then there's another Cubone right in front of it that's like closer to the viewer that is not supposed to be, but it's just as big as the other. Like,
That's how perspective works.
yeah, I was like, that's perspective, and also it's behind
Yes.
text, so it helps
is,
obscure
but
the focus.
It doesn't feel to me like it's been placed in like a non-assuming way enough that it's distracting me from what's supposed to be the focal point of the picture, if that makes sense. I like it. I like the execution. I don't love the design. Like, I don't love the direction of the card. So I mean, probably another like B or C for me.
Not to talk again. Very brief point. I
hate
think
it when he talks again.
I know. I hate it when I talk again too. I do think this card would be better if it was just the Cubone on the rock and none of the other Cubones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Fair.
just think it's very strange to me that like Cubone's whole thing is that it's lonely. But they're all on this card alone together, I guess.
Yeah.
And I do agree with Tyler. It's a little strange that they're calling into attention with this card just how many of these things exist that their parents all died in the exact same way, where they all get to wear their skulls for some reason. Digimon would do it better.
Damn. That hurts me because I like Cubone a lot.
It's excellently. I love Cubone. Actually.
I love Cubone.
Yeah.
There's Buford back there. But it's expertly rendered, and it's expertly done. I love the framing. I would love this as an art piece, but I'm not super digging it as a card. Gotta put it in B, I think.
Yeah, this is the first one I pulled of the full arts, which made me very happy. And I my fighting deck that I've created around this card and Marowak EX has been winning me games.
Marowak.
So yeah, Marowak's great. I like this art a lot. I think it's very well detailed, but I completely understand the con of it, that it, you know, is taking away from the thing that makes Cubone. With that in mind, I'd probably put it low B, high C.
Yeah.
Probably.
I say put it in C.
Maybe even beneath the gloom. But again, I'm biased to the gloom. I just really like the little fun little story of the gloom.
I like the gloom better, if I'm being honest.
I like the story of the gloom. I like the stink of the gloom.
The gloom is funny. So
the group of lonely orphans.
yeah.
I like that thing stink.
Stank better than orphans.
Gotta love that stank. Speaking of stank, I don't know. Nidoqueen.
I feel
Stanky queen.
I feel the exact same way about this as I do about the Cubone.
Fair.
But like not necessarily. I do like this better than the Cubone because it doesn't have the problem of like there's way too many of them. This one has like the whole family, and that's cute, and I really like that. I like the stories it's telling. Again, rendering is beautiful. It's gorgeous art. I love the lighting. It's very wholesome. But compared to like some of the other stuff we've seen, it just doesn't really make me feel any kind of way about it. So I would put this in like C or B personally.
This is art that I would love to see in a Pokedex. Like if they like made it into a book, I would love to see this as like a biology textbook type deal when you're talking about like the habitats and what happens with the Pokemon. Once again, not thrilled with it as a card particularly because it's not like they can put the Nidorans behind Nidoqueen, but she's not in the front focus of the frame, which does bother me. But I do like I like the picture as a whole. I like the like habitat that they're in, like all the sharp rocks that protect the nest, that kind of shit. Also, it's a dark type, which I guess is what they use for poison.
we are into dark types where poison types do fall. Yes,
yeah. But
Sure.
I like the art enough that I want to put it once again in high B.
When I first saw this, I thought it was odd that it's like both Nidorans and not a Nidorino or a Nidorina. And then I just kind of had like, I built the narrative real fast in my head of like, oh, those are the teens, like young adults. They left the house. They don't need protecting anymore. Like the little guys are staying with the mom. Like, I think it's really cute. I like the different, like personalities to how they're sleeping as well. I agree with Mitch. It feels a little odd as a card, especially like as a card for like a game that they're fight. Like there's not really any motion or movement to this in any way that really shows off. And actually kind of to Mitch's point about the Alakazam, like we don't see a lot of Nidoqueen's body. Like it's just the side profile and a good portion of that is blocked by Nidoran. Like Nidoran, we can see more of the male Nidoran in this than we could see of Nidoqueen. I really love the execution again, just like the Cubone. And calling back to Kyle mentioning like the framing of the text with the background, like it's doing a really good job with that. Like there's not a ton happening behind the text that it makes it difficult to read. So like points for that, but I also like B, C area.
If I'm honest with you guys, this is a D for me.
Wow.
Damn.
And I like the card and I like the art and there isn't like a card here that I don't like. But as far as like the fact that like so many of these cards are so stylized and like so expressive, this card is pretty and I like it, but it just really isn't doing a ton for me past that. So I would personally put it in D. But I completely respect, if we want to put it higher, it's just, like it looks like you said, Mitch, a picture from a Pokedex, like just a moment I'd have in the game. Whereas these other things feel like such an awesome, like little peek into like a unique like story of these specific Pokemon, or in some cases, Alakazam fighting one of the greatest psychics of all time.
The greatest.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it, but it's still very good. I don't want to.
Now throw it at the bottom. When I play a powerful creature in a TCG, I don't want it to be sleeping with children. I want it to be awake and alert and fucking fighting. Don't take that line out of context. That's not what I meant.
I want to ask you to rephrase it, but I don't want to know what you'll do. So I'm just going to put it in D. Unless there are
even though I
objections.
put it in high B, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Because as a card, it kind of has its shortcomings.
Yeah.
Can I just say, though, as a small
are
aside, the story of Love Strike is very interesting to me because that means that this Nidoqueen is in like a polycule with a bunch of Nidokings.
It is.
Oh,
It's also
no.
a really good. It has potential to do some fucking damage.
Yeah,
it
The
does.
setup for this card is
plus
amazing.
50 for each Nidoking on the bench.
Good
Now
God.
that does mean you have to manage to get them all to be up to the point of Nidoking, so evolve
Yeah.
them twice. So it does take some time to set up, but if you can do it, it is great. And
Something Nidoqueen cannot breed with Nidoqueen King, Queen King. They can't breed together.
Can we breed with the next card?
we sure can, because that's Nidoking.
Oh, cool. Well, actually, we just established that we can't.
We are not
It's sleeping again.
Nidoqueens.
He is also sleeping, but he's sleeping.
After a good fight,
Yeah.
seems.
Is that water?
I don't know. For some reason,
Yeah.
I mean, I think put this lower because he is sleeping, and I don't want a sleepy boy on my battlefield. I want him to be ready to fuck someone up. I really do like the environment of this. I kind of like the story of like this dude just went and kind of just flopped around and had a good time, and now he's just done. And he looks happy,
seems like
and that makes me
he
happy,
used-
you know?
Kind of seems like he used Drill Run in particular.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
I think maybe
yeah.
he was like, you know how dogs have like a little bit of poop on their butt and they like drag their ass across the ground? I think maybe that's what was happening here, and he just got a little carried away, and it might have felt a little too good on his prostate, and that's why he's like smiling a lot.
Okay.
I hate it. I hate it. You made it worse. You made it
no.
fun and goofy and haha, and then it went, now the Nidoking is pleasuring itself.
I don't
Great.
have a ton to say about this one. I like the environment, like Tyler was saying. I like the sun rays. They look really pretty. The water, I'm like a little confused on, because like it nothing in the rest of the environment has given an indication that it like rained recently or anything. Like the grass doesn't necessarily look like dewy or anything, which it would be weird to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like the only indication of any kind of precipitation is just like there's water only in the little ruts there in like little splotches. Like he's not wet. Nothing else around it is wet. It feels weird. I like the splash of color it adds, but like I just don't care that much about this.
Yeah.
Could have rained
my
the day
opinion-
before.
But then why is it?
why
raining
is it-
in
If it
the-
rained a lot
why is
and
it
it
in
hasn't
there?
all gone away, have you never sucking seen a puddle in the sunshine before?
Have I
Sucking
never
scene.
sucking seen a puddle in the sunshine?
this art, despite fixing the problems I had with the Nidoqueen art, it also speaks to me even less, actually. Although I do kind of enjoy the idea that it was raining and he was pissed off because of it. And now that it stopped, he's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about on par with the Nidoqueen for me personally. The fact that it tells a bit more of a story with the big fight happening and now it's like relaxing after, I like. And the Sunray thing that we talked about liking in other cards is here as well. And the framing with the text is pretty good as well. Not amazing, but it's pretty good. So yeah, it's about right on par with Nidoqueen for me. And it's funny because I kind of like Nidoqueen and Nidoking as Pokemon. I never loved them, but I like them. And these cards just really, I don't know. They're just nice.
Yeah.
They're solid.
Yeah.
Throw it in D.
I've always liked Nidoking. Nidoqueen to me has always been just kind of like right on with boobs.
Yeah.
Are you ready for a hard pivot away from a normal picture to something abstract and crazy? Here's Golbat.
What the hell?
I think this is a callback to another previous card art, actually. Hold
This,
on.
I believe
this has to be
believe
made
it
by the
is,
same
yes.
guy that did that hypno
hypno?
art that we had in
yeah.
that one video.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like the same style.
It's gotta be, right? Komiya.
It's very I don't know if you guys have ever watched
Tomokazu Komiya.
Madoka Magica, but
Oh,
it very
boy.
much looks like when they go to fight the witches and it gets the weird like that art style. It's pretty cool. I put this in like C, but like, you know, I enjoy the stylization of it.
yeah. It's awesome to have this kind of style of a card. And then it is the same artist. I did find the Hypno
Okay,
card.
cool.
It's the exact same.
Oh, I was just looking for it.
Oh yeah, man.
but which is awesome because he just gets to use this crazy cool style and just make it expand across the card, which reads surprisingly well. Like I actually really like it expanded out like this. It's very, very fun and cool and crazy. I love the Golbat line. I love all of those Pokemon. Crobat's a personal fave. But yeah, I'd probably say it's around C myself as well. Just because it's unique and cool, but not like my jaw is not agape for it.
Yeah.
No pun
His jaw's
intended.
agape for it.
Whoa!
The pun was intended. I cannot lie.
I wish I had anything to add to that, but all I have to say is C. It's not that I don't like it, of course.
No.
Yeah.
About the same for me. The biggest knock that I have is I don't know what's happening to him in this other than he looks like he's stuck between like a stalagmite and a stalactite. Like I'm confused about what's happening in this scene and why he is upset the way he is. So I'm
feel like
fine with C.
I feel like he's sideways just because the artist wanted to fit the whole dang mouth.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, I love the art style, but the situation feels strange. Where in C do we want him?
I'd put him like above Slowpoke, but that's about it.
I wouldn't put him above Pinsir. See, the problem
That's
with the
fair.
abstract art style is there's not a lot for us to grasp onto.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel bad for not having a lot to say. But
Right.
just
Put him in
It's
C
very-
because he's about to produce a grief seed. Watch Madoka Magica. It's a good show.
Thanks for that.
Welcome. It's a good show.
I've never seen it, so I really can't say much. But you know what? I can say stuff about Weezing.
oh, the stink! Oh, he's got the stink on him.
He's got
Oh, the
stinky.
stink!
He's leaking
Oh
gas.
God, his
He's
ability
inhaling
is
all the-
gas leak. He is a
inhaling all the
stage
trash.
2 that knows tackle.
Yeah.
Tackle's a dark type?
So he's a
on
dark
this
type
card?
because he's poison. Yeah.
Sure.
It's just
Even though wing attack isn't dark on Golbat.
TCG's fun. So this card is just fucking busted. Fun fact. Because you play this in decks where when you're building decks and you put a dark type in and then like any other type, you can go in and select what kind of energy you will get because you don't have energy cards. Every turn you just get an energy. And if you have multiple types in your deck, it'll just randomly switch between the two. And so people will play this because to use Gas Leak, you don't need to have an energy to use Gas Leak, the ability. So you can just put it out there, have it be a fucking wall, and then a lot of people will set up something like a Mewtwo where it can just dump damage. And then Koga, the trainer card, lets you retreat Weezing to your hand for free. So you can just immediately switch into to Mewtwo.
I like
Crazy.
that.
Yeah, it's a really strong deck right now.
Weezing is not a dark type, right? It's a poison type, which resists fighting. But in the card game, fighting is ground type. So it evens out again to dark being weak to fighting.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
It is.
I like this art. It's very good. It's not phenomenal. I don't think it's not knocking my socks off, but I think it's very fun. Him sucking up the garbage and the nasty stank in the city. And I just like Weezing's face a lot.
I like
He's just a doofy little dude.
I like the secondary head's face. Like, he doesn't really want to be here. He's just like, Dad dragged me along.
He's like, come on, son, help me out. No.
I don't want to eat
go to
garbage.
the candy store.
Dad, we passed it 3 blocks ago. You said we could go.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mitch.
I was just gonna say, like, it's the town art is really nice. I actually really, really enjoy this art style, and I also enjoy the look of Weezing itself. But it's something about how like realistic fantasy the town looks that just the existence of Weezing in any art style looks out of place. But that's not really a knock against it. I think I'll put this in low B.
Okay.
Yeah, I would personally say, like you were saying, Mitch, it feels a little out of place for me. I can't exactly put my finger on it because like it's not a dissimilar style between the environment and Weezing.
High C. I'll correct myself.
Yeah, You read my mind. I was personally gonna say like just below the gloom, just because I still like that stanky boy.
Put the stank boys together.
But this boy stanky too.
I think this is very good art. I feel absolutely nothing looking at this card. I'd put it top of D.
Wow.
Damn.
The thing is, I can't argue with that.
Like if
either.
I pulled
Yeah.
this, I
I stand
wouldn't.
by my choice.
I wouldn't be excited. I'd just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would push for C as well myself. Something that you guys didn't mention that we've mentioned on a lot of other cards is the centering of like the focal point.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's sucking up like a bunch of lines right to it is really helping with the fact that you're actually like, it's a Weezing.
yeah.
So
it does
I think,
integrate it into the
Right.
scape.
like as a card, it is really good art. Like you're
Yeah.
doing a really good job doing a story, having an environment, and still managing it all to play into like the concept of how to make a card art. And it's really good.
Yeah.
I would argue somewhere in C. I don't know where in C. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I won't fight that much.
I know, like we've got 2 for top of D. I was saying like just below gloom. I'd be happy to go lower. I would not want to say in D for myself personally, but I'm happy with a low C.
We could put it
I
at
don't
bottom
want
C.
it below Golbat. I
You don't want it below Golbat.
I would put it between Golbat and Pinsir, I think.
I'm okay with that.
Totally
Okay.
fair.
I won't fight that.
Oh, wrong way. Ooh.
You bitch.
I can't believe you do this. On to the one dragon type card. Whoa.
Oh, and of course.
Oh.
Well, I
I
guess
didn't
that
know,
makes
I
sense.
didn't know Dragon type was still a thing.
It sure is.
It's just around, from what I understand. Like, I think
Yeah.
a couple commenters were saying, like, it's just there. They didn't remove it. They just left it.
Oh.
They did remove Fairy though,
Yeah.
according to some commenters.
Yeah.
It's just that
okay.
the dragon is just an occasional thing they dip into.
Interesting.
Oh, the logo is wild.
First of all,
It's cool.
very good card. Really good card. You just throw this in like a water electric deck and it fucks. Because you do 50 damage 4 times randomly to Pokemon, either
Good
on the field or on
God.
the bench. It's really good. It's also really hard to set up. Obviously, it takes 4 energy. And the games are shorter in this. Oftentimes, I just wanted to throw this out there. Compared to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, the way this game plays.
Oh, okay.
So, for all you Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there, maybe try it because of that. I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh. I like this art. It's another one where it's like it's good art and it's a fun little like blip in the life of a Dragonite. It's not like knocking my socks off like some others, but it's very good.
Yeah. I kind of have the same feeling of this one that I did with the Weezing, where I'm like, it's great art. Especially like the sky and like the scenery and everything, like the way they did the reflections on the water, like very extremely well done art. I don't really feel any kind of way about it. So I'd probably be throwing this in like C personally.
There's not a lot, like I keep talking about like their like action and motion and that kind of thing, and he's just there. Like it's, I don't know. Like Tyler said, it's not really doing a lot for me. I like the meteor shower in the back of it. It's pretty. The only like knock that I personally have is a little bit of what I talk about with Digimon art a lot, where its wing behind its head is just kind of poking up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I took like 30 seconds when I first opened the picture to be like, is that an ear? He doesn't have ears. The fuck is that? Ah. Like, it's just odd placement. If they could have moved it a little bit, or even just like, I think it would have been fine without it, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't care that much about this card.
Another Mitch hot take here. I do not like Dragonite.
Bad take.
I don't dislike Dragonite. I just do not like Dragonite.
That's fair.
Still a bad take.
One interesting thing about this card that I'm kind of into is at first I thought it was strange that there were 2 Dragonites, but that's actually just the boat in the background with the bow that's shaped like a Dragonite. I do like that the meteor shower, it goes along with the fact that it uses Draco Meteor. The problem is the Dragonite on the card is the only part I do not like. It doesn't particularly look like it's flying in any direction that would make sense. It doesn't, like Nico said, the wing behind the head muddies the silhouette and it makes it look strange. And it's just kind of like this weird 3/4 angle that it's looking at you. I don't know. I don't vibe with it. I got to put it in low C.
Yeah, I love Dragonite. Very high up there for all-time Pokemon for me. However, this specific style of Dragonite art is not my favorite. There is one where it's very cartoony that I think expresses so much more emotion and is what I love about Dragonite. This one it's not my favorite, but because it's Dragonite, I still like it. I probably just kind of based on what we're saying, maybe right below Weezing.
I'd put it bottom of C personally.
Me too, but I'm fine with below Weezing.
Sure.
I want to say too, I don't like Dragonite, but problematically, it's for the same reasons people love it. So it's hard to argue about it. You know?
I just never cared about Dragonite personally, and I like Dragonair a lot. So
which is why
Dragonite
it
is
hurts
just
that it
was
became
disappointing to
Dragonite.
me. But
I fight with it a lot because I like Dragonite a lot, but every time I'm reminded that it comes from Dratini and Dragonair, I go,
I just don't care.
it is a choice. What's next?
Don't let anyone stop you.
That's fair.
Who's
Good.
next?
Welcome to Colorless.
Whoa.
It's Pidgeot.
That's
It's
really
Pidgeot.
cool.
Pidgeot.
Welcome
Drive
back to the
off.
Magikarp getting hit by the Gyarados. It got caught by the Pidgeot and it's flying away, and the Magikarp's going, "Dear God!"
Its eye is popping out of its head. It's
Yep.
it might be dead already, actually.
That's what Gyarados is aiming at.
That's the Pidgeot flying away.
From so far away that it's going to cross several time zones. Because it
Okay,
is,
so right off the bat, I take issue with something here.
oh dear.
I'm shocked.
We're clearly, we're clearly super high above the ground. Why is there so much water really close to the camera?
It's a water type Pokemon. He's using Splash,
Splash is a normal type move, dingus.
but it's called Splash.
And not in any other place but America.
What's it called in Japan?
Let me double
Is
check
it just
this
like
just to
Struggle
be sure.
or something?
Splash Pokemon.
I just pulled this the other day as well. It's very cool. I like this art. While you look that up, Mitch.
Yeah.
It's a very dynamic, action-filled scene that I like a lot. That being said, in the span of what we've looked at, very middle of the table for me. The ability is quite good. I haven't really seen it in action a ton, but the ability seems quite good. And 2 energy to do a 70 damage move, and only having a 1 retreat cost seems very, very, very good as well. Again, I just haven't seen it in action, so I don't know. But yeah, it's cool.
The results are in. The direct translation for the name of Splash in Japanese is hop. So,
Oh. Go
Interesting. That tracks.
which is why things like Hoppip can use it as well.
I see.
that makes sense.
Yeah, why Magikarp is a jumpy boy.
That said, I really do like the wake that is left like in the background that's actually clearly on the water. That shit's awesome. This card is really well made. And despite my issue with the mass of water in the front, in the foreground, I can't put it any lower than like low A because it is really well stylized and really well done.
Yeah.
If you hadn't like pointed out that like the greenery looks to be significantly further down than the rest of it, I wouldn't have necessarily noticed. And now that you have it, it does feel a little disjointed, but it almost makes me wonder if it's significantly closer than we think. Like if that's a product of the blur effect that's trying to make that motion happen. And that's like just some dark green, like algae on rocks or some grass or something like that.
Maybe.
But
it does like very distinctly look like a big ass bay to me. But
it looks like foliage, but with the motion to this, it makes it really hard to tell, which in and of itself is a bit of a knock against it, I guess, that the motion makes it difficult to read. I don't know how I feel about the wings being lit up like that. Like it feels a little odd to me. I really like all the rest of it, but the wings having that really hard outline that you don't really see on any of the rest of this, with that little bit of like haloing effect is just kind of odd to me. Like I'd be fine with this in like a high C, like low B, to be honest.
I'd still want this to be in A probably. I do take issue with like the weird perspective thing. Like you said, like that's clearly like to me, it looks like a peninsula shot from like way above. But in general, like this brings us back to like having that kind of energy and motion that I think lends itself really well to having like just a really dynamic card that like feels powerful to have. Like it's not just a Dragonite fucking copy pasted in the middle of a pretty sky or like, you know, a Nidoking asleep. Like it has that energy. It's telling a story. It's really well rendered. I would put this probably bottom of A personally. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, this one's a weird one. I could see it being anywhere from low A to low B, like bottom A, bottom B. Because, or maybe not below the Diglett, maybe somewhere either right above or right below the starters. It's kind of in the mix with them for me, where there's like a good bit of story, a good bit of detail. You know, I guess the more I think about it, because there are things that take away from this card that I can agree with, and we all seem to kind of agree with. Maybe I'd put it right beneath the starters. But that's just me.
I would agree with the placement just beneath the starters, just for like, there wasn't a lot to detract from the starters, and Pidgeot could have been really cool if they had adjusted the perspective a little and cleaned a little bit of it up a little bit differently.
I'm good with that.
Tell us in the comments below why we're wrong.
Yeah. Tell us in the
I
comments.
can't believe you hate Nidoking.
Yeah. We very
Disagree
clearly
with us
hate
respectfully. I love it.
the illustrator.
Yeah. I'd be like, I can't believe they shit on a person's art.
The name of the illustrator,
We're
by the
going to
way,
get at
is
least one comment about that.
That's fine.
the illustrator
okay.
for this one is Anasoki Dynamic.
I'm sure you didn't butcher that at all.
Probably not.
It's just dynamic at the end.
Well, it's Meowth.
Yeah.
Meowth.
That's cute.
It's really something about this style is amazing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it is just so expressive. It is minimal yet like really stands out in a lot of ways. The little coins dropped along the way, and like that this Meowth on the lamppost being like, I want that fucking coin.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Also, sneakily a very good card. If you just have a slot or two to throw in a Meowth, where you can just throw this out early, just get an extra card draw, and then switch it out for like really cheap. Like it's a really, really nice card because it's colorless as well. You can just throw it out there with any deck. Which is something.
Drawing cards in card games is always going to be the single best effect a card can have.
Yeah.
I really, really like this. I would argue maybe even bottom of A or somewhere in A.
Yeah.
No, I kind of agree. Like it's kind of simple. There's not really like any dynamic energy to it, but it's like the composition is really good, and I like the style of it being very like comic strip-y. You know, like I'm getting like Calvin and Hobbes or like Bone, the greatest graphic novel ever made. That's not a joke. I genuinely love that shit. But that's like kind of the style I'm getting from it art wise. Like It's simple, but I'm just really it's really doing it for me. I would not be upset if we put this in A.
No,
What I really appreciate. Oh, go. No, you go for it.
No.
Okay, what I really appreciate about this card art is that fuck you, is that the sky and the foreground are very clearly very different art styles in a sense, but they don't clash. Like the sky, the fact that it's so empty adds to the like drawing the eye to the foreground. And I think that's absolutely excellent. I love the trees, the way they're like smear shaded.
Yeah.
Definitely. This might actually, I'm not gonna lie. It's simple, it's cute, it's effective. I kind of wanted to S this.
I wouldn't go that far.
I know you wouldn't. I barely would too, but I kind of want to.
I don't hate that take, honestly. I don't know if I'd let it go into S myself, but I just think, like, is it crazy to think that the way I'm reading the night sky is almost negative space?
Yes.
Where, like, it looks
no,
like
it's not
they,
crazy.
with a pencil, and, like, they drew with a pencil to make, like, cover up just, like, a daylit sky.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. There's just so much about this. It's one of the coolest scenes in any of the cards we've seen so far. In such a really unique way. And I love it.
I think the thing that makes it feel almost comic booky, part of what it is, I think, is that all of the shading is done through just line work. Like it's not like smear. I am a huge sucker for that. You can even see it just in like Meowth's shading there. The sky is basically just shading. It's not that they drew a sky. It's that it's all that patch shading that's done to give you the impression of a full moon without actually drawing one. And I think that's insanely smart. I love that. I adore this. Everything about this this card. It almost feels like there's character to like the Meowth that's sitting up there might have like tossed those coins down to like screw with somebody. Like he looks like he's like watching the other like
Heathcliff's same ass.
Yeah. I would be big happy for this to be an A.
I think
Also, once again, warm lighting on cool background. Let's go.
yeah, I think it should definitely be an A for sure. I'd put it bottom of A just because I like the kind of energy the other cards have specifically, but like I won't be upset if we put it higher than that.
They work better as action like battle cards.
Yeah,
Right.
That's fair. Yeah, the only argument I would have made was to put it just above Gyarados for the like just how much I love that styling, but that's very fair. They're much more action oriented.
Yeah, you know what? Give Mitch a win. Let's put it above Gyarados. Because honestly,
one single
it's like
win for once.
Incredibly subjective. Like, holy shit, this art design is like might be my favorite like stylistic thing we've looked at so far. Which is great. Other than Alakazam.
Wild that it came to a Meowth card for that.
Right. No, exactly. It's like not a card you'd expect it on, but it's so cool.
Yeah, all of the cards that are in A, I don't give a shit about the Pokemon, but the art is really good.
Yeah, not even slightly.
Yeah. So speaking of cards that have just like, it's like, I mean, I guess it's Eevee. People like Eevee, whatever. Here's Eevee.
That's fantastic.
I love that art.
It's amazing.
Dude, this art style
looking at the
so
evolution.
perfect.
Looking at the evolution stones.
Amazing.
This is incredible, dude.
Yeah. It's
I'm
just
thinking it's
pretty.
This Eevee is a pet.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, I know I just said I would put Meowth at bottom of A because the other ones have all that action and shit, but I would not be upset if this went into S. I'd be perfectly honest. Like, I think the just like the soft, like cozy art style and the the fact that it's like looking at the stones and the little like toys it's got on the. I don't know, man. This just makes me really happy to look at.
They have a picture of him up on the wall in the back.
He's the employee of the month.
Somebody loves this fucking thing.
Just the use of
a lot
color
of people
too,
love this fucking thing.
with like the pink shadows and like the yellow lighting and stuff. Like shit like that is like so cool and makes me wish I understood color theory to be able to like do something like that, because it's just really cool how there's all these other colors in there that you don't even see until you start like really looking at it. And it's all of these mishmash colors kind of making the shading. It's really fucking cool.
The really subtle like pinks and purples, you kind of mentioned it, Tyler, in like so many of the little aspects of this, like near the tops of different objects in the scene, because it's the shadow, and just the way that you see like the hues of like purple in them the longer you look at them is so it just, like you said, it feels good. It feels cozy and warm and awesome. Also, something that we haven't mentioned yet is the detail on the rug underneath a lot of like the weakness stuff is really nice. In a card where there's a lot of like very intentional like you know like it's a sketchbook almost kind of thing where like it's not supposed to be perfect. There's a lot of awesome little details in the actual rug. It's just, this card's to me, I would put it in the bottom of S. I would put it underneath Alakazam personally.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's crazy the feeling that this card like pulls out of you.
I love the story. Like Tyler said, like we were talking about the action of all the ones in A and Alakazam, but like it tells a story about the person that owns this Eevee without taking away from the rest of the card and like the focus on Eevee. Like there are like 2 or 3 little like crocheted play toys right there too. Like there's a teeny little Ditto and the Pokeball is handmade, it looks like. Like it's so fun and it just makes you feel welcome. I definitely, bottom of S for me still.
No beating around the bush with this one. Also going to put this one in S. I'm also not going to wax poetic about the design because I can't add to what those guys said. But
good use of wax poetic.
Wax poetic. But this card tells one of 2 stories, and I don't know which one it is. Either this Eevee's a bit of a dumbass, and it's just like, oh, what are these? Oh, what are these stones? And it accidentally evolves. Yeah. Or it's an Eevee that's like dissatisfied with its cozy life and wants to grow up and be stronger and want to like help their owner, I guess. I don't know. And I think that's really cool that you can kind of choose your own adventure for your Eevee. It's also not clear which evolution it becomes. So like,
right.
Very, very nice. Very good card in every facet of the word. Very aided by the fact that it only has tackle with no extra effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if there was text on it, it would really take away from it, honestly.
Just having tackle on there lends more to this thing is a dipshit. It doesn't know what those are.
I think this next one might be back to the bottom of the
it's Ditto. There's a fake Caterpie.
Yo, he is a pumpkin and a leaf.
Oh my god, yeah, those are 2 leaves. 3 leaves.
In the leaf in the foreground.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it isn't a leaf.
Right,
I thought it was a pumpkin. It's a leaf.
It's 3 leaves.
Yeah,
just the orange leaf is dissatisfied.
That's really funny. I still want to put this in D, but like I love how cute this is.
It's either top of D or bottom of C for me. The ability's called Copy Anything, which I think is just really fun. Or they have the move rather.
It can copy anything.
It literally can, as long as you have enough energy that matches it, which is really cool. You can really just fucking surprise a bitch with it.
Yeah,
but, I don't know. It's another one of those ones that just feels nostalgic and fun. With the art style of it, and I know nothing against it at all because I love it. Much aided by the fact that I love the Slowpoke card. But yeah, I don't know.
It's got so much to contend with.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Like, it's incredible art, and it makes me smile. It's really cute. I just, as a trading card, I wouldn't really feel anything special about it. You know?
I'd like to have it, but
Yeah.
like I wouldn't go. It's not a chase card.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
anything
yeah,
at
yeah.
S and A, S to A, and even through the beginning of B a little bit for me is like I want that.
Yeah.
I really want that in my
I-
collection.
To be honest, I would say bottom of C as well. Like I want to myself put it just above the Slowpokes, but like knowing the story on the Slowpokes that they got the original artist to come back and like finish the card art for a full art like is really cool to me. My favorite thing about this is just that it's just two Dittos like fighting, and I've like never seen a Ditto not transform before fighting, and I really I want to hear like like the ballistics jelly like slapping of a Ditto fighting a Ditto
I hate that a lot.
like I think it's really silly, but I think its proper place would be just below Slowpoke.
I have to agree with that. It like bottom of C, even though I do really like this card. And it's a Ditto ready for action. I think that the illustrator Jerky designed this card specifically because it has copy anything. So it has said Ditto turned into leaves, yay! Which I adore actually.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
But
That's good. That's good.
yeah, I'm cool with
At
bottom.
first I looked at it, I was like, is that guy's name Jorky?
Jorky.
Jorky?
Well, look, it's a Porygon.
Yo,
Whoa, this is a very busy card.
I like
It
it,
is,
though.
But
but
that's
in a
so
really
fitting for
cool way.
Porygon.
Yeah.
Right. It does a good job with like the really sharp lines in a lot of this, or really even pronounced lines that help match the very pronounced lines of Porygon. It kind of blends in a little bit and also manages to stand out, and I like that like kind of
Yeah.
juxtaposition. It's cool. Also, just a solid card. Also, I have it.
I like it a lot, but I'm also a sucker for Porygon, so that's on me. It feels weird to say because it's Porygon, but it feels a little two-dimensional. Like just that it's like just the side profile of Porygon. Like it feels very flat, despite the background being
card,
pretty.
Nico.
Despite the background being pretty interesting, I don't think it makes it pop enough for me to really like it. I think it's really funny that the Porygon looks smug. Like, I like the
proud
look
to be
in
there.
its eye.
Yeah.
But since we've talked about it with other cards as a plus, I will also mention the background makes it kind of difficult to read a lot of
100%.
Oh, yeah.
text on here. Like this is like this looks great. I got no fucking idea what this does.
I just
If
really
it didn't
like
have an
the
ability, it
colors
wouldn't be
on
that
this
big of a
one.
problem.
Yeah.
It matches the border too.
I've been really
Yeah.
bad about saying where I think this should be. I think like I don't know, like bottom of B, upper middle C.
I personally would put it a little higher than that. Like I don't think this is like the coolest shit ever, obviously. Like I'd still probably put it in B, but like I don't know, something about like the just how like bright and colorful it is like really doing something for me. It is very busy for sure, but kind of like Kyle said, I really like how the line work is like very like pronounced, and it just kind of lends itself well to like Porygon just being very blocky. But I mean, it is very busy and kind of like a lot, so I probably wouldn't put it higher than B, but I think it belongs in B personally.
You know what I think my biggest issue with this is? It's the confetti.
Oh, that's my
I think
favorite
everything
part.
would be. I think everything would be like good enough. Well, I would rather they remove details from the background if they want to keep the confetti, because I do just think it's too much. It's telling that my immediate thought that I could not stop from saying out loud was "That's busy." That like it's something that I can't bring myself to put higher than C. Just because like obviously the Pokemon here is clearly pronounced. Even if it is kind of the same color as a lot of the background. But it's in frame, it's sort of in focus, but there's just too much happening. That said, it kind of looks like it's part of a raffle basket, which is very funny.
It looks like it knows.
It,
It looks like it knows it's the prize in a raffle.
Yeah, like this is the book. This is the basket. It's got all the tickets or all the berries in. Apparently, the thing that this card reads to me a lot is like hieroglyphics in a weird way, like very modernized hieroglyphics, where like it's very busy, but like the Porygon itself, because of like the line work I mentioned before, it like blends in as like, and like even Nico mentioned like 2-dimensional, where like it all kind of like reads together in a way that you're like trying to decipher it in a way. And that's not incredibly detached from like Porygon, like a lot of the like, you know, story of Porygon, I guess, and it being very simple.
No, I'm just thinking of like a Vati video about Porygon, like the story of Porygon.
I don't know. I like this. I'd probably bottom of B, high end of C somewhere, in my opinion.
I feel like bottom of B is kind of the general consensus then.
Yeah, something like that. I'm down with that.
Cool.
I dig it.
Yeah, dig it.
It's a big boy.
It's just a Snorlax.
That's his spot.
Oh
That's his
no,
spot.
he's trapped the Bellsprout.
That his spot.
D for being a dick. Next
I
question.
mean, it has the element of it being on the bridge where you have to play the flute.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of fun little things where it's like the Bellsprout's like, Jesus, it's heavy. And the Oddish and the Venonat being like, I gotta go a different way. Yeah, I mean, it's just another fun one. Lower C.
Great art, great reference, D.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it. I
thought I was going to be alone on this.
No, I just don't
I really did.
If they're asleep, put them in D. Put them with the other sleeping boys.
But that's all Snorlax does.
I mean, yeah, that's
Fuck him,
kind of
I don't
unfortunate
care.
for him. That's unfortunate. I like this card a lot. It's just compared to everything else.
Yeah.
I would say top of D. I would put it at the top of
Oh
D.
yeah, top of D
same,
for sure.
same.
Absolutely.
And the art style is very pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love the art style.
I don't think I
just-
need to say anything about this card.
I've
Actually,
got nothing
Skip
to
me.
say about it
There's not a-
either.
there's
It's
not a
just,
ton.
I am tempted to rename D tier into fell asleep
Wake
during
up!
the fight.
Wake up!
Yeah.
Wake up, you're
Wake up,
cooler than
fishy.
this. So we are now moving on to EX cards. Whoa!
Oh my god!
My standards are raising, so good luck.
Yeah, exactly. So these cards are all EX cards, so they're technically better. In Pokemon Pocket TCG, instead of winning prize cards when you kill a Pokemon or knock out a Pokemon, you get a point, and you get first 3 points wins the game. And if you beat an EX Pokemon, you get 2 points. So these guys are you want to beat these guys. We're back to fire now. Holy moly, it's a Moltres.
Oh, holy moly!
And it's fucking gorgeous.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a really
It
pretty
looks-
Moltres card.
That looks like a panel out of like one of the movies. Like
Oh, there's Machop and Machoke down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't look like part of a panel from a movie, but the rest of it does.
The
Damn.
colors alone in this, also, if you'll notice the border has changed as an EX full art, and it works so well with the way this card's colored.
It does.
Phenomenally well. It is. I just think this is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
My immediate pull is to A, or maybe even the bottom of S. It is majestic and whimsical as a legendary should be, and I think it emulates that perfectly.
Yeah, I think it's definitely at least A for sure. I don't feel as strongly about it as some of the other stuff in A personally, but I think objectively this is like an incredibly gorgeous card. It's just like the composition and the colors and everything are just really good. I don't really have much else to say about it though.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful. The backlighting on Moltres from the blue light in the sky, the little bit of purple in the top right corner that kind of starts to blend in a little bit to the purple and the blue border of the corner. The Machoke and the Machop feel a little silly to me in this, but I like that they're looking at it like it's a spectacle for them too. Like I think that's fun.
Don't hold that against the cards. It's a running theme.
Huh?
Don't hold the aspect of other Pokemon witnessing the majesty as a holding against it. It's a theme with all three birds.
Oh, cool.
It's going to continue.
Great, thank you.
It's a theme thing.
I want it to be that same Machoke and Machop all 3 times. Like they're sightseeing.
Certainly
I want to
is.
see what they see. Holy
Just
shit.
fucking just drowning like, oh my god!
I'm taking my little brother on vacation. But I don't want this in S. I would be happy with like mid-high A.
This card is beautiful. This is something that cannot be combated against. Like, I'm not going to dispute that at all. This card is beautiful. I really like the posing because it genuinely just looks like you're looking up at the bird mid-flight, like gliding past, you know? I think that the inclusion of the Machop and the Machoke harms this card only by the fact that the text is not blocked properly to accommodate their inclusion.
Another running theme.
Rapidash does it better.
Okay.
I do like the Rapidash card a lot better than this.
Yeah.
That's fair. I wouldn't hate putting it right beneath it, honestly.
Yeah.
That's fine with
fine
me.
with
It feels as though it deserves that realm.
Yeah.
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 100%.
Agreed.
What does my favorite of the legendary birds look like?
Let's see it put ice. It's beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic.
It is, but I don't like it as much personally. As
Yeah.
someone who
Yeah.
is like an Articuno stan, as far as the 3 birds go, Articuno is it.
It has the light or Aurora Borealis-y lighting effect in the sky, which is like a very subtle thing. It's not very profound like you would normally see of like an Aurora Borealis style. But it's there enough that like you get the vibe from it. And I really enjoy that subtleness of it. Again, just feels very majestic, feels very ethereal almost. And I love the
Very
vibe of these
demure.
cards. This is beautiful. Yeah, it's very demure.
That's already out of style.
That was out of style the day after it happened. Let's be real.
Yeah. I saw it on TikTok for
See,
like 2 days and it was gone.
I can tell you what the issue is with this card and why it doesn't hit you as hard as Moltres is. It's because it's cold background on cold foreground.
Yeah.
Articuno does not stand out. Moltres was the focal point of the entire card. Articuno is a part of the scenery here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's bad. Like, I think it's fitting for what it is. It's just the Moltres one had like you said, like the contrast of like the fire against like the night sky. It was just very dynamic, like interesting to look at. This is objectively good and objectively like what it should be, but it kind of just gives me like Bible dove energy. Like I just don't feel anything for it, you know? Like,
What like good omen.
What
Anyway.
an incredible way to put a bow on that. It really does. Like I could not find the words and you pulled them from my mouth. It straight up just like Bible dove out of this guy. It's majestic, it's regal, the lighting is great for it, but I don't care.
yeah. I'd put it in like B at the highest.
It does not evoke emotion. Low B, high C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably personally put it somewhere in the middle of B myself.
I'd be okay with it above Doug Trio at the highest. But
It's a
Diglett, sorry.
It is Doug Trio.
Yeah.
There's like enough of them there that they could be Doug Trios that are split
they all
up.
stood
I
near
don't
each
give a
other.
shit.
So
I
Polydig,
personally-
Polydig.
I would push for it above Pidgeot myself.
I was gonna
and that's
say
all the-
above
Okay.
Pidgeot, just because of the sins that we've talked about in the
That's
the
not
Pidgeot.
valid, honestly.
Very valid.
Yeah.
Very valid.
Cool. Let's finish out that bird trio.
Let's do it.
And I fucking love it.
Doug
That's
Trio,
right.
let's go.
Fucking love it.
Why is
awesome.
it Ekans looking at him?
He's like,
that is Ekans.
I really,
I
really
thought the
wanted
Sparrows
it.
had a gigantic eye, but it's just the lighting.
Me too.
yeah.
I really wanted it to be an
a
electrode somewhere in here.
Yeah, like you can see them inside the
like
power
you
plant.
could see them in the back, or you could see him in
like-
the back and them. I would have loved that.
I think if I can go first this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I think Zapdos is too high. It just like it's weird. He's very high up. He's very small when compared to the rest of the card. And neither of the Pokemon that are in awe of its presence are fully in view for the maximum effect. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like high B, because this, like, as it stands, this is an excellent card. I love that they didn't just go with yellow lightning to really muddy yellow Zapdos. They went with the blue lightning to contrast it, which is excellent. The dark storm clouds, the inclusion of the power plant, everything works except for those pesky little critters.
I think that, because I agree, I think that he is like very high up, and I think that that's kind of been my slight issue with all three of these cards, is that they are kind of small in the grand scheme of things, but I think that the idea is that like you are on the ground kind of like looking up at them from like a realistic perspective. Is kind of what the vibe is supposed to be. I think this is better than Articuno, not quite as good as Moltres. So I agree with pretty much everything Mitch said. I'd be okay with this being like high B, but or like the bottom of A at the highest, but
That's about where I'd fall with this too. I like it a lot. I think it's fun. I don't think it has as much personality as a lot of the other cards. I don't necessarily think that it's like too high in the sky. I think they did a good job of making Zapdos look like an asshole in this. Like he looks like he is like lording over the other Pokemon in here. Like it's Zapdos and an Ekans, and Zapdos looks like he's like, yes, look at me. Like it's actively the only one of these that is looking down and not like forward towards something else. Like it is stationary here, doing something and scaring the crap out of these poor little things. I think Tyler is exactly right with placement, like top of B, low A, something like that.
Yeah, that's honestly like right around where I was thinking the same thing as well. Zapdos is my favorite bird. And something that I think this card does really well is that in a lot of depictions of the three birds, there's a lot of like majesticness felt from Articuno and Moltres, and Zapdos feels a bit out of place in that like majestic idea the other two have. In this card, it makes it look so menacing and powerful and like fear me, and it helps match that sense of power and mythicness, not in a graceful way, but in like a dominant way. And I think that's really cool in a way that like Zapdos art does not usually depict that well. For that reason, I'd put it at the bottom of A and not the top of B, because it really gives you a feeling that Zapdos doesn't always get to have.
I like the way you described that.
yeah.
I personally, I don't
legendary.
like the idea of putting it above the starters, but at the same time, that would make it too close to Articuno, and I think it's much better than Articuno's card.
I think it's better than the starters. Put it in A. Bottom of A.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, my only issue with Zapdos's card isn't even Zapdos, so we're
Yeah.
Fair.
I think that's fine.
Here's a card I like a lot.
That's awesome.
It's
Shadowy
so
Spellbind.
it's really good.
Spooky shot.
I love
Yeah.
the style of this.
Oh, this
with
is
It's
the
phenomenal.
like hard shading and how it's just 3 colors.
yeah.
This is S for me personally.
Yeah,
like, I
man.
love this shit. This is great. I have nothing to even
Yeah.
say about this. It's just, it's just great.
It's for somebody who watched the series once and liked the style. Very like Soul Eater looking with that
Yeah,
hard
well, I get that.
shading and the aggressive coloring. Also, another anime, the mid-roll cards for Gurren Lagann. Row, fight the power.
It's giving red line.
Yeah, I love Gengar in the first place. I think this is a fantastic depiction of him. He looks like he's about to fuck up that person walking into this mansion. I love it. Definitely S. I don't know. I guess we'll see what you boys feel, if it's sticking an S, if it's going above or below that Eevee.
It does not speak to me nearly as much as it speaks to you. However, I am a slut for 2-color shading. I don't want to put it in S, but it's not like I'm gonna complain if it ends up there.
Yeah.
But I would put it in top of A.
I would put it
Nah, I
top.
like it in S.
Yeah. put it bottom of S.
Yeah, bottom of
S.
S. I agree.
All right.
I think it's below Eevee. I think that Eevee
Yeah.
has just so much going on with it.
Yeah.
My thing with this card, it's a very, very good card. Gengar's great. But I wish it seems like they have kind of gone in this direction in general with the Pokemon Company. If they want a mascot, Gengar is such a great option.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of Charizard. And
Yeah.
they definitely do push it a bit more than other Pokemon. But God, dude, especially like this styling of Gengar where it's very like, I'm a little shithead.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Oh,
It's
the
fantastic.
Gengar is
bastard of Pokemon.
extremely popular in Japan, apparently.
Oh, really?
Also, I've heard
I mean-
that apparently the guy who's like in charge of the Pokemon TCG, his favorite Pokemon is Gengar, so there's more Gengar cards than any other Pokemon.
Literally any other
Yeah,
Pokemon.
by like a wide margin.
yeah, that makes sense.
Love this, baby.
So, you guys remember when that Alakazam was really cool?
Yeah.
They made
S.
another one.
S. Under Alakazam, but also S because it's the same art style.
I don't know about under.
No, it's under.
I'm gonna
See-
be honest with you. Okay, the readability of Alakazam issue that we had is not here.
I
as
didn't
much.
have
I
that
was just
issue
gonna
though.
say that. Yeah. Because you know what Alakazam looks like.
But
Yeah,
my
literally,
thing
exactly.
is,
that from that point
Yeah.
of view, like if any person were to look at these two cards, this one is more readable objectively.
No, that's
I
fair.
also like Alakazam more, like just myself. And I think the actual, like a lot of the motion in Alakazam's feels very impactful, but that's not to say that this one doesn't, because holy shit.
No,
like
that-
this is phenomenal.
that's my thing is that like I prefer the Alakazam one because I feel like it has a more kinetic, dynamic energy to it. Like with the Alakazam, like you can kind of, because of how forced the perspective is, you can feel like how aggressively he's kind of coming at you. The Machamp also very good, like dynamic energy with it, but it's not nearly to the same degree as the Alakazam, in my opinion. It is much more readable. You were correct about that. I personally think the Alakazam is just a touch over it for my personal preferences, just because of how forceful the energy is. And I know how hard it is to fucking draw that because I've tried and I'm very bad at it, so it impresses me with the
Yeah.
Alakazam one. But this is just, it's also incredible. So this has got to be S.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think it's questionable.
I will lobby for it to be top of S over Alakazam for general readability. Like I actually like the coloring on Alakazam significantly more. Like that aggressive light blue backing to Alakazam makes him really pop out of the card, where like Machamp is big enough that there's not a lot of room for background on this, but like it doesn't pop quite as much. That said, the purple with the like orangish, yellowish lighting is also good. But I think the readability of Machamp's actual like form, as well as the readability of the motion in this card, is what puts it above it for me. Because with Alakazam, like there's a lot of motion, but it's not super clear to me immediately, like what is doing exactly what. It's just a lot of things flying around. Where with Machamp, like he is stomping into the ground, grounding himself ready for a swing. His fist in the foreground has punched away a rock and shattered it. He's got one arm winding up and the other one immediately behind it, swinging forward to absolutely dome you. Like there is so much like you are dead. There is nothing you can do. This
I feel
Machamp,
the sense of death incoming from both,
like,
but
Alakazam is
The
a
weight of your
spectacle.
sins crawls up your back.
Yeah, Alakazam is a spectacle. Machamp is a promise.
It is a really hard pick. I know I'm the one that levied the complaints against Alakazam, but like I had said at the time, you could go with a more readable pose, but it probably wouldn't be as good of a pose. Machamp kind of embodies that. I prefer the color contrast with Alakazam over Machamp. I prefer the kinetic energy of Alakazam over Machamp. But as a card, I value the readability of the design first and foremost above that. I think I gotta put Machamp over Alakazam, but it's not like it isn't unbelievably close.
Valid.
yeah, I'm honest with you. Like the more I'm looking at them, like I just looking at the two of them side by side this whole time you guys have been talking about it. And it's interesting because with Machamp, he has so much more mass, literally, that you have more room to do these cool shadows in this art style on like the muscles of him. And it looks great. But I'm actually like, the more I'm looking at it, I think I like more so the less space that's taken up in the Alakazam card, because you have more room for these incredible like psychic explosions and shit. Like the actual effects that are going on in the negative space around him are so much more like, they make him pop more than what the actual like artistic style makes Machamp pop more. So I'm thinking the more I'm looking at, I'm leaning more towards Alakazam, but it's so damn close for me. Like they're both like easily the best cards we've looked at. Like they're,
How do we put
this
them
art
both in
style's-
the same spot? I don't
Do you guys want to do what they do in TCG and flip a coin?
I guess we can.
It's okay. I have a little Mario coin. I'll just do it
Nice.
in real life.
It's the wrong franchise.
It
I
is.
have
invalid.
like 5 Pokemon coins upstairs, but I'm not gonna go get them.
That's okay.
Don't go get
well-
them. It's 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
I know.
because
I should have been
because it
asleep 2
brings-
hours ago.
this went really long. We ended up gushing about these cards a lot more than
We've
I thought.
been
But anyways,
recording for 2 hours.
Alakazam will be heads because brains, am I right? And then tails will be Machamp. So here we go. Whoa, it's tails. It's Machamp.
Whoa.
Champ wins.
This is also like completely unbiased based on Pokemon as well,
Gosh, I have a
because I think
peach
Machamp is the best card we've looked at so far. I hate Machamp. I think it's gross.
Too bad we don't have time to unpack that all the way. What's the next card?
Damn.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's
What
Melfi Mommy.
Oh my
Incredible
God.
juxtaposition.
It really is.
I also want this in S. Like bottom
Honestly?
of S, but this is
Yeah, same.
It's the Diamond and Pearl like contest accessories.
No, it is.
Oh shit, you're so right.
Yeah.
But more importantly, this looks like a frame from Blue's Clues.
There's a little substitute doll down there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wow.
I
Yeah, I'm totally down.
I just
kind of
want to
bottom of
slap this
S.
in bottom of S without any more.
Honestly,
No,
yeah. Does not warrant any more
so
commentary.
eclectic, guys.
It really is. But hey, that's just a testament to how good the art in this game is. And then we have 4 more heroes you can see, and 3 of them you can get from opening packs. Charizard, Pikachu, and Mewtwo. The last one's a Mew. If you collect every single card from the Kanto Pokedex, you unlock the Mew card immediately.
Oh, damn.
And
that's crazy.
Very
really cool.
few people are gonna have that card. I hope it sucks.
The New
Sprinkles
Zealanders have it so good.
I tried. I didn't get there. I got like 150 out of 226 overall, but like, so I got a lot. But anyways, so the cool thing about all 3 of these or 4 of these cards is that they're immersive art cards, where when you inspect them, the frame disappears and your camera moves around in this like incredibly deep scene that's so much more than
like
what you can see in
3D.
just the card art. Yeah, you actually enter into it and like your camera moves around and you inspect the full scene.
Let's rate these experiencing none of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm honest with you, the best one by far, in my opinion, is Charizard's. The camera backs up and there are like 15 Pokemon fighting around the Charizard
Jesus.
in just the craziest style. And in the very foreground is a Psyduck running away having a headache. And it's fantastic. There's just so many Pokemon, so many awesome effects of Pokemon fighting each other. I was trying to find a way to be able to show you guys them. I just couldn't find it.
Not gonna happen.
That's all right.
But yeah, in my opinion, because of how insanely cool these cards are, I would just throw them all into the bottom of S myself, because they are all very, very cool. I'll just kind of explain them to you. The Charizard one's the big fight. Pikachu, you get a look into the woods. There's like Ponyta grazing. There's some more Pikachu climbing a tree. It's just very cool. Mewtwo is him escaping from the test tube lab that he was in the movie. You actually get to go into the lab, see like the flying papers, shattered shit, and Mew peeking up behind the tube, behind where he came out of. Very, very cool. And then the last one is Mew. It is like a Blue's Clues style thing where it backs out and you follow Mew as it floats forward and bounces up and down, and it like circles the little globe on the bottom and goes through different environments all the way around the globe, and it like sees like other little felt Pokemon pop up as you go.
Damn.
Yeah, so they're all really cool. In my opinion, though, seeing them all at some point actually in action, I would say Charizard's the best, followed by probably Mew, honestly, and then Mewtwo, and then Pikachu.
And you know what? Since we can't experience them in full, and since it's really fucking late,
Yeah,
when
it's
we're
been
recording
going on
this,
for a real
and
long
we've been
time.
recording for almost 2.5 hours. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave these ones on the cutting room floor, or we should probably. And you can just tell us in the comments below how we shouldn't have done that.
And with that, that's our tier list, guys. Thanks for checking
Tier
it
list,
out.
guys.
Tell us if you like this kind of content, like the longer form thing, because we haven't done like this long yet. But as far as Pokemon Pocket goes, try it out. At this point, it's out. It's fun. This isn't a plug for it by like a sponsored terms. It's just fun. Yeah. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Are you guys gonna play Pokemon Pocket TCG?
I'll probably try it, yeah.
My phone literally won't be able to handle it because I have a really old phone.
Maybe
But
by the time this
it
comes
looks
out,
fun.
you can.
If I'm not just horrendously poor by then, but I doubt that's gonna be real. My car
Card games are the real
exploded
life
last
gotcha
week.
games.